Let me ask you something. Have you ever heard a sound that no one else could hear? A sound that doesn't come from this world, but from something just beyond the veil of reality? In a small New England town, so small you won't find it on a map, an old bell was dug up in a field where nothing ever grew. It looked harmless, rusty, forgotten. But the first time it rang, by itself, a child disappeared, and only people born before 1960 could hear it. This is the story of the hollow bell, and if it ever tolls in your town, don't open your window. Don't go outside, because the bell never rings twice. The town is called Fairfield's Hollow, tucked away in the thick forests of western Maine. Population, maybe 180 people, and falling. Most who live there have roots going back generations. No chain stores, no fast food, just an old diner, a post office, and a church that hasn't had a preacher in 10 years. But there's something about the land. Something is wrong. The locals always warned kids to stay away from a patch of field behind the old school ruins. They called it Dead Man's Flat. It's not the name that's scary. It's the silence. No birds, no bugs. Even in summer, that field stays cold and still. One day last fall, a group of workers were digging up that land for a new water line. That's when they found it. Half buried under decades of frozen soil. A massive rust-covered iron bell. No inscription. Just strange carvings around its base. One of the older men said it looked like claw marks, or worse, runes, ancient ones. They pulled it out with a crane, cleaned it, put it on display in the center of town. It rang 3 nights later. At 3:03 a.m., no wind, no birds, just the bell. And that morning, a child was gone. His name was Micah Grayson, 10 years old, a little wild. Obsessed with baseball and horror comics. His mother went to check on him that morning. The bed was still made. Window open. Pajamas on the floor. They searched everywhere. Dogs couldn't track a scent. Only clue? A single barefoot print in the frost, leading straight toward Dead Man's Flat. And then, nothing. No trail. Nobody. No sound. People started whispering. Fear spread like smoke. But the authorities called it a coincidence, a runaway. Until the bell rang again, same time, 3:03 a.m. Another child is gone. Then, it happened again. And again. Each time the bell rang, a child disappeared, every 3 nights. The older folks? They started to remember. Not rumors, not ghost stories. Real fear, because it had happened before. 1958, that same patch of land held a wooden schoolhouse. One winter, the bell began ringing at night. People assumed it was a prank, or maybe just wind. But over the course of 2 weeks, 6 children vanished. No bodies, no evidence, just empty beds and broken families. The town elders at the time, terrified and desperate, burned the schoolhouse down, buried the bell under concrete and soil, and sealed the field forever. They made a quiet vow, never speak of the bell again. But secrets buried in dirt don't stay silent forever. And now the bell was back. Miss Evelyn Granger, 87, sharp as a knife, finally spoke up. She said the bell didn't just ring, it called. It calls to children in their dreams, whispers to them from beyond the veil, draws them into the cold, dark space between life and death. The reason only the old can hear it? Because they're the ones who remember the sound. The bell echoes through time, feeding on memory, grief, and blood. Fairfield's Hollow went into lockdown. Children slept in basements. Parents stayed awake through the night with flashlights and shotguns. The town voted to destroy the bell. They tried to fire, sledgehammers, even a backhoe. It didn't dent. It didn't melt. It just sat there, waiting. On the 7th night, the bell rang louder than ever. Windows cracked, the ground shook, and 5 children vanished at once. Irma said the bell is not an object. It's a doorway, something ancient, something hungry. It doesn't just want to be heard. It wants to be remembered. Because the more we fear it, the stronger it becomes. Now people are leaving town, but the bell, it stays. It hasn't rung in 5 nights, but the old ones say that's worse. They say it's waiting to toll in the next town, the next city, your neighborhood. Wind fades. A faint bell toll begins again softly in the background. Narrator, whispered urgent tone. So, if you ever wake up in the middle of the night and feel cold, even in July, if you hear a sound you can't quite place, distant, metallic, sad, look at the clock. If it's 3:03 a.m., don't open the window, don't go outside, and whatever you do, don't listen to the bell, because once it calls your name, it never stops. Bell tolls louder. Cut to black. Did you hear it too? Drop it in the comments if you survived the hollow bell. Like, down, subscribe. More true horror stories.